a world where knowledge shapes destiny, one creation dares to redefine the future. From the minds at XAI, prepare for Grok 4. This summer, the next generation arrives, faster, smarter, bolder. It sees beyond the horizon, answers the unasked, and challenges the impossible. Grok 4, Unleash the Truth, coming this summer.
All right, welcome to the Grok 4 release here. This is the smartest AI in the world, and we're going to show you exactly how and why. It really is remarkable to see the advancement of artificial intelligence, how quickly it is evolving. I sometimes compare it to the growth of a human and how fast a human learns and gains conscious awareness and understanding. And AI is advancing just vastly faster than any human. I mean, we're going to take you through a bunch of benchmarks that that Grok 4 is able to achieve incredible numbers on. But it's actually worth noting that Grok 4, if given like the SAT, would get perfect SATs every time, even if it's never seen the questions before. And if even going beyond that to say like graduate student exams like the GRE, it will get near perfect results in every discipline of education. So from the humanities to like languages, math, physics, engineering, pick anything, and we're talking about questions that it's never seen before. These are not on the internet, and Grok 4 is smarter than almost all graduate students in all disciplines simultaneously. Like, it's actually just important to appreciate that's really something. The reasoning capabilities of Grok are incredible. So there's some people out there who think AI can't reason, and look, it can reason at superhuman levels. So yeah, and frankly, it only gets better from here. So we'll take you through the Grok 4 release, and show you like the pace of progress here. I guess the first part is like in terms of the training, we're going from Grok 2 to Grok 3 to Grok 4. We've essentially increased the training by an order of magnitude in each case. So it's 100 times more training than Grok 2, and that's only going to increase. So it's frankly, I mean, I don't know. In some ways, a little terrifying, but the growth of intelligence here is remarkable.
Yes. It's important to realize there are two types of training compute. One is the pre-training compute. That's from Grok 2 to Grok 3. But from Grok 3 to Grok 4, we're actually putting a lot of compute in reasoning in RL.
Yeah, and just like you said, this is literally the fastest moving field. And Grok 2 is like the high school student by today's standard. If we look back in the last 12 months, Grok 2 was only a concept. We didn't even have Grok 2 12 months ago. And then by training Grok 2, that was the first time we scale up like the pre-training. We realized that if you actually do the data ablation really carefully, and the infra, and also the algorithm, we can actually push the pre-training quite a lot by amount of 10x to make the model the best pre-trained base model. And that's why we built Colossus, the world's supercomputer with 100,000 H100. And then with the best pre-trained model, and we realized if you can collect these verifiable outcome reward, you can actually train this model to start thinking from the first principle, start to reason, correct its own mistakes. And that's where the Grok 3 reasoning comes from. And today we ask the question, what happens if you take the expansion of Colossus with all 200,000 GPUs, put all these into RL, 10x more compute than any of the models out there on reinforcement learning, unprecedented scale, what's going to happen? So this is the story of Grok 4, and Tony, share some.
Am I audible,
insight
guys?
with the audience.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just talk about how smart Grok 4 is. So I guess we can start discussing this benchmark called Humanities last exam. And this benchmark is a very, very challenging benchmark. Every single problem is curated by subject matter experts. It's in total 2,500 problems, and it consists of many different subjects: mathematics, natural sciences, engineering, and also all the humanities subjects. So essentially, when it was first released, actually like earlier this year, most of the models out there can only get single-digit accuracy on this benchmark. Yeah, so we can look at some of those examples. So there is this mathematical problem, which is about natural transformations in category theory. And there's this organic chemistry problem that talks about electrocyclic reactions. And also there's this linguistic problem that tries to ask you about distinguishing between closed and open syllabus from a Hebrew source text. So you can see also it's a very wide range of problems. And every single problem is PhD or even advanced research level problems.
Yeah, I mean, there are no humans that can actually answer these, can get a good score. I mean, if you actually say, like, any given human, what's the best that any human could score? I mean, I'd say maybe 5% optimistically.
Yeah.
So this is much harder than what any human can do. It's incredibly difficult. And you can see from the types of questions, like you might be incredible in linguistics or mathematics or chemistry or physics or any one of a number of subjects, but you're not going to be at a postgrad level in everything. And Grok 4 is a postgrad level in everything. Like it's just, some of these things are just worth repeating. Like Grok 4 is postgraduate, like PhD level in everything. Better than PhD, but like most PhDs would fail. So it's better that said, I mean, at least with respect to academic questions, I want to just emphasize this point. With respect to academic questions,
PhD fail.
Grok 4 is better than PhD level in every subject, no exceptions. Now, this doesn't mean...
So, guys, do you think that AI will ever take over human beings apart from the knowledge?
New technologies or discovered new physics, but that is just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it may discover new technologies as soon as later this year, and I would be shocked if it has not done so next year. So I would expect Grok to, literally discover new technologies that are actually useful no later than next year and maybe end of this year. And it might discover new physics next year. And within 2 years, I'd say almost certainly. So just let that sink in. Yeah.
So okay, so I guess we can talk about what's behind the scene of Grok 4. As Jimmy mentioned, we actually throwing a lot of compute into this training. When it started, it's only also a single digit. Sorry, the previous slide. Sorry. Yeah, it's only a single digit number. But as you start putting in more and more training compute, it started to gradually become smarter and smarter, and eventually solved
It's live right
of
now.
the HLE problems. And this is without any tools. The next thing we did was to
it's
add
live
in
right now. It's going
tools
live on
capabilities
Twitter,
to the model.
on X, sorry.
And unlike Grok 3, I think Grok 3 actually is able to use CRO as well, but here we actually make it more native in the sense that we put the tools into training. Grok 3 was only relying on generalization. Here, we actually put the tools into training. And it turns out this significantly improves the model's capability of using those tools.
Yeah, I remember we had like deep search back in the days.
Yeah.
So how is this different?
Yeah, exactly. So deep search was exactly the Grok 3 reasoning model, but without any specific training, but we only asked it to use those tools. So compared to this, it was much weaker in terms of its tool capabilities.
And unreliable.
and unreliable.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And to be clear, like these are still, I'd say, this is still fairly primitive tool use. If you compare it to, say, the tools that are used at Tesla or SpaceX, where you're using, finite element analysis and computational fluid dynamics, and you're able to run, or say like Tesla does, like crash simulations, where the simulations are so close to reality that if the test doesn't match the simulation, you assume that the test article is wrong. That's how good the simulations are. So Grok is not currently using any of the tools, the really powerful tools that a company would use, but that is something that we will provide it with later this year. So we'll have the tools that a company has, and have very accurate physics simulator. Ultimately, the thing that'll make the biggest difference is being able to interact with the real world via humanoid robots. So you combine sort of Grok with Optimus, and it can actually interact with the real world and figure out if it can formulate an hypothesis and then confirm if that hypothesis is true or not. So we're really, think about like where we are today. We're at the beginning of an immense intelligence explosion. We're in the intelligence Big Bang right now, and we're at the most interesting time to be alive of any time in history. Yeah. Now that said, we need to make sure that the AI is a good AI, good Grok. And the thing that I think is most important for AI safety, at least my biological neural net tells me, the most important thing for AI is to be maximally truth-seeking. So this is a very fundamental. Like you can think of AI as this super genius child that ultimately will outsmart you, but you can still you can instill the right values, and encourage it to be sort of, truthful.
Do you really believe the Tic Tac, those UFOs are really there, the triangle UAFs, or is it just made up?
Be incredibly powerful. Yeah. So yeah, so this is really, I'd say, we say tools. These are still primitive tools, not the kind of tools that serious commercial companies use. But we will provide it with those tools, and I think it will be able to solve with those tools real-world technology problems. In fact, I'm certain of it. It's just a question of how long it takes.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
So is it just compute all you need, Tony?
Sorry?
Is it just compute all you need at this point?
Well, you need compute plus the right tools, and then ultimately to be able to interact with the physical world.
Yes.
And then, we'll effectively have an economy that is, ultimately an economy that is thousands of times bigger than our current economy, or maybe millions of times. If you think of civilization as percentage completion of the Kardashev scale, where Kardashev 1 is using all the energy output of a planet, and Kardashev 2 is using all the energy output of a sun, and 3 is all the energy output of a galaxy. We're only, in my opinion, probably like closer to 1% of Kardashev 1 than we are to 10%. So like maybe a point or 1 or 2% of Kardashev 1. So we will get to most of the way, like 80-90% Kardashev 1, and then hopefully, if civilization doesn't self-annihilate, and then Kardashev 2, like it's the actual notion of a human economy, assuming civilization continues to progress, will seem very quaint in retrospect. It will seem like sort of cavemen throwing sticks into a fire level of economy, compared to what the future will hold. It's very exciting. I've been at times kind of worried about, like, well, is this seems like it's somewhat unnerving to have intelligence created that is far greater than our own. And will this be bad or good for humanity? It's like I think it'll be good. Most likely it'll be good. Yeah. Yeah. But I somewhat reconciled myself to the fact that even if it wasn't going to be good, I'd at least like to be alive to see it happen. So, yeah.
So actually one yeah, I think one technical problem that we still need to solve besides just compute is how do we unblock the data bottleneck? Because when we try to scale up the RL in this case, we did invent a lot of new techniques, innovations, to allow us to figure out how to find a lot of challenging RL problems to work on. It's not just the problem itself needs to be challenging, but also it needs to be, you also need to have like a reliable signal to tell the model, you did it wrong, you did it right. This is the sort of the principle of reinforcement learning. And as the models get smarter and smarter, the number of cool problems or challenging problems will be less.
Elon is backed by many Asians.
So it's going to be a new type of challenge that we need to surpass besides just compute. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually are running out of actual test questions to ask. So there's like even questions that are ridiculously hard, if not essentially impossible for humans, that are written down questions are swiftly becoming trivial for AI. So then there's, but you know, the one thing that is an excellent judge of things is reality. So, because physics is the law, ultimately, everything else is a recommendation. You can't break physics. So the ultimate test, I think, for whether an AI is, the ultimate reasoning test is reality.
Yes.
So you invent a new technology, like say, improve the design of a car or a rocket, or create a new medication that...
See, world is full of mysteries, okay? There are many things that just go unaware of us. And yeah, I do believe that you must have seen these UAFs and the crazy stuff that you're talking about.
So it's going to
but
be
then again,
reinforcement learning, closing the loop around reality.
Why wasn't, like, you know, it was captured in any of the videos or anything else? Because today everything just goes on X. Everyone shares
we are thinking
even a
about
smaller
now,
thing, smaller shit that goes on
single agent,
in the
we're
world.
able to solve 40% of the problem.
Helium?
What if we have multiple agents
I do believe you, but still,
so this is what's called
I don't know.
test and compute.
It's a mystery yet.
As we scale up the test and compute, actually we are able to solve almost more than 50% of the text-only subset of the HRE problems. So it's a remarkable achievement, I think. Yeah,
this is insanely difficult. These are so what we're saying is like a majority of the text-based of humanities, you know, scarily named humanities last exam, Grock 4 can solve, and you can try it out for yourself. And with the Grock 4 Heavy, what it does is it spawns multiple agents in parallel, and all of those agents do work independently, and then they compare their work, and they decide which one. Like it's like a study group, and it's not as simple as majority vote, because often only one of the agents actually figures out the trick, or figures out the solution. But once they share the trick or figure out what the
welcome to the
real
stream.
nature of the problem is, they share that solution with the other agents, and then they essentially compare notes, and then yield an answer. Yeah. So that's the heavy part of Grock 4 is where we
yes sir, I'm always here.
Test time compute by roughly
if you're always there.
Have multiple agents tackle the task, and then they compare their work, and they put forward what they think is the best result.
Yeah. So we will introduce Grock 4 and Grock 4 Heavy. Sorry, can you click the next slide?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
How many people in the stream use Grock regularly in your day-to-day life?
A single agent version, and Grock 4 Heavy is the multi-agent version.
For anything and everything.
So let's take a look how they actually do on those exam problems and also some real life problems.
Yeah. So we're going to start out here, and we're actually going to look at one of those HLE problems. This is actually one of the easier math ones. I don't really understand it very well.
Hello, Patricia. But one thing I could see, let me just put down a little bit of audio of that. So, Kilium, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, has been making very good notes about the tic-tac UAFs and stuff and all that. And okay, there's something scaling test time has been getting explained here. Let's just watch that. I'll just keep my mouth shut for now.
Take these markets and see if we can predict the future as well. So as we're letting this run, we'll see how Grock 4 Heavy goes about predicting the World Series odds for like the current.
It's very unusual for an Indian to get the name right, you know.
For these to process, we're going to pass it over to Eric, and he's going to show you an example of his.
Yeah. So I guess one of the coolest things about Grok 4 is its ability to understand the world and to solve hard problems by leveraging tools like Tony discussed. And I think one kind of cool example of this, we asked it to generate a visualization of two black holes colliding. And of course, it took there are some liberties. It's, in my case, actually pretty clear in its thinking trace about what these liberties are. For example, in order for it to actually be visible, you need to really exaggerate the scale of the waves. And yeah, so here's this kind of in action. It exaggerates the scale in like multiple ways. It drops off a bit less in terms of amplitude over distance, and but yeah, we can kind of see the basic effects that are actually correct. It starts with the in spiral, it merges, and then you have the ring down, and this is basically largely correct.
Why is he so nervous?
Yeah, modulo some of the simplifications.
Why is he so nervous?
It's actually quite explicit about this. It uses post-Newtonian approximations instead of actually computing the general relativistic effects.
Looks like
near the center of the black hole, which is incorrect, and will lead to
Presently, he looks like he's hallucinating.
Overall, visualization is basically there, and you can actually look at the kinds of resources that it references. So here it actually it obviously uses search. It gathers results from a bunch of links, but also reads through a undergraduate text in analytic gravitational wave models. It reasons quite a bit about the actual constants that it should use for a realistic simulation.
Hey, Kurikun. Grok is intentionally skewed towards authority rule.
Data.
Yeah, kind of looks like the way it's been responding recently.
It's a pretty good model. Yeah.
But actually going forward, we can give it the same model that physicists use, so it can run the same level of compute that so leading physics researchers are using, and give you a physics accurate black hole simulation.
Exactly.
Just right now it's running in your browser, so.
Yeah, this is just running in your browser.
Yeah, so exactly.
Pretty simple.
Exactly, so Shades. It's just on another AI platform.
Take a look. The math problem is finished. The model was able to, let's look at its thinking trace here, so you can see how it went through the problem. I'll be honest with you guys, I really don't quite fully understand the math, but what I do know is that I looked at the answer
at
the time, and it did come to the correct answer here in the final part here. We can also come in and actually take a look here at our World
Guys,
Series
you just have to
prediction.
tell me in the chat key,
Still thinking through
this
on
AI,
one,
I don't know.
Try some other
Is it going to change anything and everything about humans?
The X integrations that we did. So
I
we
feel
worked very heavily on working with all of our
I don't
X
know what's the
tools and
output of
building
this
out
thing.
a really great X experience. So we can actually ask, the model, find me the XAI employee that has the weirdest.
It's been taking away so many jobs of people.
So that's going to go off and start that, and then we can actually try out,
it's very flashy.
Create a timeline based on X post.
It's crazy the way it's taking all the information from the internet, the way it is trained, modeled. The model is trained, and the way it gives answers and stuff. It's fine. But then again, what about humans, man?
So
are we losing out on them?
Here and process, and if we go back to this was the Greg Yang photo here. So if we scroll through here, whoops. So Greg Yang, of course, who has his favorite photograph that he has on his account. That's actually not how he looks like in real life, by the way. Just so you're aware. But it is quite funny.
But it had to understand that question.
Yeah.
Which is that's the wild part. It's like it understands what is a weird photo. What is a weird photo?
Yeah.
What is a less or more weird photo?
It goes through. It has to find all the team members. It has to figure out who we all are. It,
right.
Searches
this
X.
is without access to the internal XAI personnel logs. No. It's literally looking at just at the internet.
Exactly.
So you could say like the weirdest of any company.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Exactly. And we can also take a look here at the question here for the Humanities last exam. So it is still researching all of the historical scores.
But have you ever thought about this, that human max to max lives for like what, 50, 60, 70, 80 years,
and we can see
and he's going to perish, but
like Dan Hendricks initially announced it.
AI is going to always be there, and someone else will keep using it.
Back in February.
And AI is somehow killing the humanity as well. Like, you don't have jobs, you're going to get crazy.
The leaked benchmarks.
Things are getting weird.
People are saying is, if it's right, it's going to be pretty impressive. So
obviously, it won't let us know how smart it is.
I'm looking forward to seeing
the way it answers, yeah. Because see, our conversation is very
close the loop around usefulness.
Let me just plug my
it's not just
charger
smart, but actually practically smart.
Exactly.
See, generally in past like 4-5 years, many people who were into reading books, they have quit reading books because they get the information.
So on the
right?
set, this is the number on the HLE exam. You can see there's a little dip on the numbers. This is actually
yes, benefit is fine.
Is
using AI for the benefit. In what sense? Like,
but I do believe,
for the automated stuff.
In a very short time,
but then again, the creativity goes dying here.
And got much higher numbers on this.
AI might be beneficial to one part of the industry.
Yeah, this is we still like what is the biggest.
See, one thing that I can appreciate is that
it's sort of
the Grok that has come out with the
it's image understanding.
Verification of the fact or the real news on X, whatever the news you see, and India being the biggest market of fake news, and the way Grok is helping out with that, it's really good. But then again, the way things are moving ahead towards the stuff that we regularly human beings do,
that'll address
that is dying
on the vision side.
Mm-hmm. Just to show off this last here, so the prediction market finished here with a heavy, and we can see here, we can see all the tools and the process it used to actually go through and find the right answer. So it browsed a lot of odd sites. It calculated its own odds comparing to the market.
Yes, AI lies.
Alpha and edge. It walks you through the entire
See,
process here.
It's all about how it has been trained. AI doesn't have the special power yet. I don't think so it'll ever have. It's all something, someone has to be there to control it.
And it took approximately 4.5 minutes to compute.
Yeah, that's a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
We can also look at all the other benchmarks besides HLE.
They're talking about humanities last exam. It's something like, you're just sitting and watching a robots launching their own products, and we human beings are getting extinct, and we can just sit and watch.
That's easier.
That's what is happening.
On AMI 25, American Invitation Mathematics exam, with Grok 4 Heavy, we actually got a perfect score. Also on some of the coding benchmark called Live Coding Bench,
I don't know how much of a sense I'm making while I'm talking about AI, but then again, you guys are smart, you guys love tech.
You can see actually
You can
on all
enlighten
those
me with the
benchmarks,
thoughts that you
we
have.
often have a very
Many
large
people are
lead
there concurrent,
against
like,
the
you know, I
second
can
best
see many people are live
model
right
out
now.
there.
Yeah, I mean, really, we're going to get to the point where it's going to get
Yes,
every
this is
answer
just
right
start,
in
Crip.
every exam. And
Criplafons.
where it doesn't get an answer right, it's going to tell you what's wrong with the question.
It
Or if the
connected with a
question
Ramba.
is ambiguous, disambiguate the question into answers A, B, and C, and tell you what answers A, B, and C would be with a disambiguated question. So the only real test then will be reality. Can it make useful technologies, discover new science? That'll actually be
Hey guys, do
the
you
only
really
thing
think Elon
left,
Musk is
because
an
human
alien?
tests will simply not be
Because I've been
meaningful.
hearing a lot about this.
Yeah, we need to make an update to HLE very soon, given the current rate of progress. So yeah, it's super cool to see like multiple agents that collaborate with each other, solving really challenging problems. So we're going to try this model. So it turned out it's available right now.
See, I love
If we
AI, okay? I
advance
love
to
using
the
AI.
next slide.
But when it
Where
comes to
there
just
is a
for a
super
small fraction
Grok
of my
heavy
work,
tiers that we're
not the
introducing,
complete
where you're able
thing.
to access to
Because I
both
love
Grok 4
creativity,
and
I
Grok 4
love
Heavy, where you're
doing
actually going
stuff
to be
which
the taskmaster of a bunch
makes
of
me
little Grok
work,
research
right? You
agent
know,
to help you,
makes me put my
become
mind
smarter through all
and
the
my
little
thinking
research and
into it.
save hours of times
AI, I
of,
just use it to
going through mundane tasks.
put the words or
And
sentences
it's
in a proper
available right
structure.
now.
Apart from that, I
So
don't
So
trust AI so much.
we did limit usage during the demo, so it didn't break the demo, because all this stuff is happening live, so there's nothing canned about any of the tests that we're doing. So after the demo is done,
Really bad at stock
we'll
knowledge.
enable more
Criplafons.
subscribers for Grok. So if you can't subscribe right now, just try in half an hour. It should work. And now let's get into voice.
Great. Abby?
So many of you have been enjoying
Guys,
our
would you
voice
really
mode,
be paying
and we've been working
$300 per
hard
month
to
if
improve the
Super
experience
Grok
over the
Heavy
past couple
was
months.
that good for you?
We have cut latency in half to make it much snappier. And today we're excited to announce a set of new voices that have exceptional naturalness and prosody. You might have noticed the movie trailer voice that opened up the live stream. That is one of our new voices, Sal, who's got that epically deep tone. And we're also excited to introduce Eve, a beautiful
Adila,
British voice who's capable
Louis,
of rich emotions.
guys,
Come
listen,
on,
I'm
would you
from
like
India,
to
okay?
introduce Eve?
I might
Absolutely.
mess up with the
let's
names.
get into
I
the
might
demo.
mess up with the good names that USA people
Hey
have.
Eve, millions of people are watching us right now. Are you excited?
Patricia, maybe
I'm thrilled, really. It's like being
let's
on
listen
stage
into
at the
this.
Old Vic with a sea of faces out there. Just imagine all those eyes and ears tuned in. It's a proper buzz, isn't it? What do you reckon we should chat about to keep this lot entertained?
You know, we have a lot to talk about, but I'll be honest, I'm feeling a little nervous. Can you whisper something soothing to calm me down?
Take a deep breath, love. You've got this. It's just you and me, having a quiet chat, like we're tucked away in a cozy corner of a Yorkshire pub. The world's just a murmur out there. Feel that calm wash over you. Let's keep talking, nice and easy. What's on your mind?
You know what? I'm actually feeling quite relaxed to try this something crazy. So can you give us an opera on Diet Coke?
Oh, an opera on Diet Coke. That's a riot. Picture this, a shimmering silver can, glistening under stage lights. Oh, Diet Coke, thou elixir divine.
Okay, this thing I would love to have with me when I'm retired, old, and I'm alone, sitting in some hut, and she'll be the best partner to have with.
Ambrosia, forever mine. How's that for a mad little aria? Want me to belt out another verse or switch up the tune?
Okay, let's try switching it up and just start singing.
Right then, let's have a go. Oh, silver can, you gleam in the light. Diet Coke, my heart's delight.
Okay, I won't try to, it's very, very poetic. Yeah, thank you, Eve. Feeling quite nice now.
Cool. So that's Eve. And so something else we do here is a little test each day to check on the natural flow of our conversations against some of our competitors. So we figured, why not try that live on the stream today?
Should I start?
Yes, Shades, it's nothing but the movie Her, lol. Yes, true.
Hey, I'm going to
That
say a
was a
number,
crazy
and can you
movie.
say the same number back to me?
Crazy
1.
movie. I love that. How many of you in the live have watched Her
2.
movie?
Sorry, I said 2. 3.
3. 4. Nice and steady. What's next?
5.
5. Nailed it. This is pretty fun, actually. Feel free to keep going or switch it up if you'd like.
Hey, Grock.
No, Crep. I'm from South
Hello
India.
there. How can I help you?
I'm from South
We're
India.
going to do a little test. Can you repeat after me? 1.
Guys, listen, I don't
right.
know, man.
What's next?
What
2.
I just really feel is that,
2. What's on
words
your
are
mind?
fine,
3.
hearing is fine,
3.
getting,
Need anything else?
feeling better
4.
when listening to someone is fine.
4.
But what
How
about the
can I assist
physical,
you?
man?
5.
What about the physical touch?
5.
Human needs
What's
one.
next?
So as you can see,
There has to
Grock
be
was
emotional and physical
snappier.
both
It didn't interrupt
together,
me, and the
and
prosody,
that can
if
only
he
come
made
from a
different design
human.
choices, I think we were shooting for something more calm,
AI
smooth,
is
more
good.
natural,
AI is good
versus
for some
something that's
time
more
for
poppy
automated
or
stuff, but
artificial. So we'll
I don't
keep
know.
improving on these fronts.
All right, thanks, guys.
You just keep playing with this bullshit, man, with the phones.
Yep. So since the launch of the voice model, we actually see the 2x faster end-to-end latency.
No matter how
in the last 8
humanly you
weeks,
can make a voice,
5 different voices,
yet
and
like
also 10x
something
the active
like
user.
like
So Grock
I don't
voice
know
is
if I
taking
lose
off.
my phone,
Now,
I might go mad
if
because
you
I'm
think
so much
about
used to
releasing the
talking to
models,
this
this time
AI
we're
woman.
also releasing Grock 4 through the
I
API
don't know.
at the same time. So if we go to the
People are
next
going to
two
go
slides.
mad, man. Like just
So,
imagine, out of 8
we're
billion
very
people,
excited
at
about,
least
what all developers out there is going to build. So, if
roughly,
I think about
just
myself as a developer,
just an
what the first thing I'm going to do when I actually have access to the Grock 4 API? Benchmarks.
some millions
So
of people
we actually ask
might
around
get
on
so
X
used
platform,
to
what is the most challenging benchmarks out there
used to using
that,
this
is considered the holy
AI,
grail for all
and they
AGI
keep
models.
talking to this AI, right, in their
So
day-to-day life,
turn out AGI is in the name,
and they get so
ArcAGI.
used to that
So
thing, and
the last 12 hours,
I don't know, if you just lose it, then
kudos to
you
Greg
just go
over here
mad,
in the
man.
audience. So
You'll never
who
be able
answered
to
our
connect
call,
with other
take
real
a
human
preview
being
of
who
the
is in and
Grock 4
around you, because
API
you're so
and
used to with this
independently
person,
verified,
with this
the
AI
Grock
person.
4's performance. So initially we thought, hey, Grock 4 is just, we think it's
Patricia,
pretty
you
good,
should
it's pretty
really
smart.
visit India.
It's our
I know
next-gen
there's been a lot
reasoning
of
models
negative
that
stuff
10x
that
more
has been heard
compute
about
and can
India,
use all the
but
tools,
it's the most
right?
beautiful
But
country in
turned
the
out,
whole freaking
when we
world.
actually verify on the private subset of the ArcAGI v2,
This AI has
it
no
was like
spirit.
the only model in the last 3 months that breaks the 10% barrier. And in fact, it was so good that actually gets to 16%, well, 15.8% accuracy, 2x of the second place, that is the Cloud 4 Opus model. And it's not just about performance, right? When you think about intelligence, having an API model drives your automation. It's also the intelligence per dollar, right? If you look at the plots over here, the Grock is just 4 is just in the league of its own. All right, so enough of benchmarks over here, right? So what can Grock do actually in the real world? So we actually contacted the folks from Enden Labs who were gracious enough to try the Grock in the real world to run a business.
Yeah, thanks for having us. So I'm Axel from Enden Labs.
And I'm Lucas, and we tested Grock 4 on Vending Bench. Vending Bench is an AI simulation of
And we are all from China.
Scenario, where we thought, what is the most simple business an AI could possibly run? And we thought vending machines. So in this scenario, the Grock and other models need to do stuff like manage inventory, contact suppliers, set prices. All of these things
Why
are
not
super
Mumbai?
easy, and all the models can do them one by
Mumbai,
one.
I
But when you
feel
do
it's a
them
good
over
place,
very
but
long horizons, most models
you love Delhi,
struggle.
Grip?
But we have a leaderboard, and there's a new number 1.
Yeah, so we got early access to the Grock 4 API. We ran it on the vending bench, and we saw some really impressive results. So it ranks definitely at the number 1 spot. It's even double the net worth, which is the measure that we have on this eval. So it's not about the percentage on or a score you get, but it's more the dollar value in net worth that you generate.
So we were impressed by Grok. It was able to formulate a strategy and adhere to that strategy over a long period of time, much longer than other models that we have tested, other frontier models. So it managed to run the simulation for double the time and score, double the net worth. And it was also really consistent across these runs, which is something that's really important when you want to use this in the real world.
And I think as we give more and more power to AI systems in the real world, it's important that we test them in scenarios that either mimic the real world or are in the real world itself. Because otherwise we fly blind into some things that might not be great.
Yeah, it's great to see that we've now got a way to pay for all those GPUs. So we just need 1 million vending machines.
Definitely.
And we could make $4.7 billion a year with 1 million vending machines.
100%.
Let's go.
It can be epic, vending machines.
Yes, yes.
All right. We are actually going to install vending machines here, like a lot of them.
We're happy to supply them.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I'm looking forward to seeing what amazing things are in this vending machine.
That's for you to decide.
That's nice.
Right.
That's
nice.
nice.
The AI.
Okay,
wow.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. I mean, so we can see like Grock is able to become like the co-pilot of the business unit.
I want
so
people on the live
so
stream to please do put out yourself, like, say hi on the live chat.
Run the same benchmark as us.
Let's just discuss some stupid shit, man. AI is too smart, and I'm forgetting that the stupid little things used to be beautiful. You know, we are forgetting all that shit.
Our Palo Alto neighbor,
yes, Vex Harris, please do continue.
Biomedical research center is already using
Vex Harris, hi.
They automate their research flows with Grok 4. It turned out it's able to help the scientists to sniff through, millions of experiments.
It's good to be stupid sometimes, I feel.
Just like pick the best hypothesis within a split of seconds.
There are like 250 people live right now who are watching it right now, but there's only 3 people who are chatting on live. It would be great if there are like 200 people chatting all together.
And
AI will get confused, mad.
See, the Grok 4 with access to
humans,
real-time information is actually one of the most popular AIs out there. So our Grok 4 is also going to be available on the hyperscalers. So the XAI enterprise sector is only started 2 months ago, and we're open for business.
Thank you, Patricia, for the lead.
Yeah. So the other thing we talked a lot about, having Grok to make games, video games. So Danny is actually a video game designer on X. So we mentioned, hey, who want to try out some Grok 4 preview APIs to make games? And Danny answered the call. So this was actually just made first-person shooting game in a span of 4 hours. Some of the actually.
So we are also killing the gaming industry.
Problem of making video games.
The people working with or working in Unreal Engine.
Actually go out, source all the assets, all the textures of files, and to create a visually appealing game. So one of the cool aspects Grok 4 does really well with all the tools out there is actually able to automate
any gamers in the chat?
Asset sourcing capabilities. So the developers can just focus on the core development itself rather than so now you can run a entire game studios with
that's because people just want to try trying to gain information.
And then you can have Grok 4 to go out and source all those assets, do all the mundane tasks for you.
Yeah. Now the next step obviously is for Grok to be able to play the game. So it has to have very good video understanding, so it can play the games and interact with the games. Actually,
so it will create its own game.
Whether a game
it's
is
going
fun,
to play its own game.
And actually have good judgment.
It's going to enjoy its own game.
Is fun or not.
What will humans do?
So with
I miss Prince of Persia.
Model, which finishes training
I miss Mario Bros.
And then we'll go through post-training RL and whatnot.
I'm from the 80s and the 90s, man.
That will have excellent video.
Why have they killed it for our kids?
And with the video
we had a great fun,
improved tool use.
The struggles.
For example, for video games,
small struggles.
You want to use Unreal Engine or Unity or one of the.
I just miss those shit. I know. I just miss that.
And then generate the art, apply it to a 3D model, and then create an executable that someone can run on a PC or a console or a phone.
That's Elon, man. It's not fake.
We expect that to happen probably this year.
That's Elon right there.
If not this year, certainly next year. So that's.
Are you missing out those crazy eye movements that he does while
really good AI video game to be next year.
That's why Crip said to buy NVIDIA.
And probably the first
and hold it.
half hour of watchable
now that's
TV
something sensible
this year,
stock market knowledge.
Watchable AI movie next year. Like things are really moving at an incredible pace.
Yeah, when Grock is 10xing world economy with vending machines, it would just create video games for humans.
Do you remember that RoboCop game?
Yeah, I mean, it went from not being able to do any of this really even 6 months ago to what you're seeing before you here, and from very primitive a year ago.
Thank you, Vizzy. That's what I'm saying. Simplicity is beautiful.
Sort of a 3D video game.
But too much of minimalism, I think.
A few hours of prompting.
Yep. I mean, yeah, just to recap. So in today's live stream, we introduced the most powerful, most intelligent AI models out there that can actually reason from the first principle using all the tools. Do all
I don't know, like you're a gamer, you love retro games, but now the way the Grok is coming out with the game design and stuff.
It's crazy to think about. Just like 4 months ago, we had Grok 3,
crazy.
And now we already have Grok 4. And we're going to continue to accelerate as a company, XAI. We're going to be the fastest moving AGI companies out there. So what's coming next is that we're going to continue developing the model that's not just intelligent, smart, think for a really long time.
I think by the time of Grok 10, we'll be having small kids, Grok kids,
and smart is going to
producing by themselves.
Right. So if
hi, George Rodriguez.
Out there that can really
no, Vex, I can't see you.
Very intelligent, fast,
I hope you can see me.
And coding is actually one of them.
Yeah, so the team is currently working very heavily on coding models. I think right now the main focus is
we
actually trained
autism. I can agree that
coding model, which is going to be both fast and smart.
It's a serious thing,
and I believe we can share with that model with you guys, with all of you in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And the second after coding is we all see the weakness of Grok 4 is
there are like 180 people watching it. Can I have 180 likes on the video, please?
It was so bad that Grok effectively just like looking at the world, squinting through the glass, and like see all the blurry features and trying to make sense of it. The most immediate improvement we're going to see with the next generation pre-trained model is that we're going to see a step function improvement on the model's capability in terms of the image understanding, video understanding, and audios. Right? It's now the model is able to hear and see the world just like any of you. Right? And now with all the tools at its command, with all the other agents it can talk to, so we're going to see a huge unlock for many different application layers. After the multimodal agents, what's going to come after is the video generation, and we believe that at the end of the day,
Patricia, China has already China is having it.
Imagine a world where you have this infinite scroll of content in inventory on the X platform, where not only you can actually watch these generated videos, but able to intervene, create your own adventures. The future is going to be wild.
And we expect to be training a video model with over 100,000 GB200s, and to begin that training within the next 3 or 4 weeks. So we're confident it's going to be pretty spectacular in video generation and video understanding. So let's see. So that's anything you guys want to say? Other than that,
someone need to ask him what's about the America Party and what he's going to do with Donald Trump.
It's a good
or Donald Trump, what Donald Trump is going to do with
we're very
Elon
excited
Musk.
for you guys to try Grok 4.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Is Grok 4 smarter than Democrats or Republicans? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for joining this live stream. I hope you guys again come back on the stream whenever it's live.